Hi, writers. Today we are going to talk about something called discovery drafts in our writing. You have learned so much already. You've learned how to pick a good topic. You've learned how to rehearse your stories. Remember, we did that on our Flipgrid. And now you're going to work on making a really good beginning and then writing fast and furiously. So today, the first thing I want to talk about is something called a lead. A lead is the way that the writer makes the reader want to keep reading their story. So a lot of times writers try to write more than one beginning. So they've already thought about their story, they've kind of rehearsed it in their heads, but then they know that they really have to grab that reader. Otherwise, the reader will just put their book aside and that'll be that. So in this case, this writer tried 3 beginnings. The first one says, I held my sled in my hand. My heart pumped as me and Alejandra walked over to Berlin. The second one says, Hey, Berlin, do you want to race? I said, Sure, why not? On the count of 3, he said. Or, it was a cold day in January, and I was sledding in Central Park with my friends and family. All right, so there you have 3 choices. Which one do you think is best? Do you see how you could really make a great story with any one of those? But I bet you one caught your eye more than the others. And that's what I want you to do today. One of the things I'd like for you to do today when you start writing is to really think, how could I start this story so that my reader wants to keep reading? That's super, super important. But the big thing we're going to talk about today is how after you've finished how you want to start your story, it's a good idea to fix your eyes on your subject and just write everything you can fast and furiously without stopping. So I want you to really think about your story. You've rehearsed it, you know what you want to say, and now it's time to just let it squirt out of your pencil onto the paper. This is an example of Felix's flash draft, and I'm going to read it to you. I actually have more pages, but I just put this one here. He wrote this in about 15 minutes, and you can tell that he did not spend much time thinking about his spelling, but boy, can you tell that he really thought about how powerful his words can be. So this is his story. Felix, wake up. We have to go to church. We went to the church. I started seeing all my family members. I did not know what was happening. Then I saw a big box coming out of the church. My grandma laid her head against the big brown box and started crying. I tugged on her shirt. Grandma, Grandma, what's in there? Just look. I stared through the screen. It was my grandfather. He was as pale as glue. Grandfather, get out of there. Come and help me make the paper airplanes you make. Don't go, don't! I am sorry about what I said to you. I knocked on the screen. It did not help. He would not wake up. I want to see my grandfather now. I knew now what was going on. My grandfather had just died. I did not know what to say to myself. I felt scared. What was I going to do without my grandpa? No, no, no. There's no paper airplane that's going to make him come back to me. Who is going to say the funny stories every day? Who's going to put a smile on me every day? I stop. A tear runs through my face. I stomp over to my grandfather, but my uncle holds me back. I see his white face, his hard, bony hands on his sides. Grandpa, let's go to the window and throw the paper airplanes. I see him coming, his pale white face grinning at me. He slowly starts walking with a long brown stick, his weak hands holding on the stick. Do you feel slightly breathless from being right here in this moment with Felix? Did you see how he did that by including the exact words he said, what he saw, and what he thought, and what he felt? It all made us feel like we were riding right along with Felix during his most memorable moment of his whole life. Writers. Okay. Now I want you to get ready to try this. So when you're ready, we're not typing today. You're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to think about your lead and you're going to write. You're going to maybe sketch little pictures to say what you're going to have at the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then you're going to write on that page. So you already made a movie in your mind about where you were and what you were doing. We rehearsed on Flipgrid. And when you're writing on your draft, you just fill your whole mind with the story. And then you begin to story tell. You're not just a reporter. You're storytelling now. So don't worry too much about perfect spelling or word choice. Just get all your storytelling ideas onto the paper. So I just want to remind you that we have learned so much about writing a true story. One of the things is that we find story ideas and we focus in on the best part so that you're writing the most interesting thing. You make a mental movie of what happened by telling it in little bits with lots of details. You remember your self-assessments and your goals. So your goals are to write more. They might be to include some dialogue. They might be to include more transition words. Use that narrative writing checklist to make sure that you know what your goal is. You rehearse by writing the story. You rehearse before and then you write the story. You rehearse and you talk and you talk and you tell and you tell and you tell. And then you try your different leads and you write a flash draft, fast and furious, with your eyes on the mental movie that you already made. So today we're going to write our flash drafts. You're going to write with a pencil and a piece of paper. You're going to take a picture of it and upload it into your writer's notebook. You're going to write your ideas that you've had all bottled up all this time. And then you're going to read what you wrote and you're just going to say the best part on our Padlet so that everybody can see. You can make a little movie of yourself on Padlet. So that is what we're doing today. Writers, I can't wait to see what you do today. Super, super, super exciting.